the way Greg had it set up. Legacy round 6. I have been handed a couple of 4-1 players. Alex Stratton is on. I see what's going on. So it's Stoneforge Mystic with, of course, Batterskull, Umezawa's Jitte, but 3 copies of Jace Vryn's Prodigy.
Oh, nice.
In Alex Stratton's list. He's playing against a Grixis Delver deck. Ed Demicco.
So, Rainey, I will tell you, I did see it in the chat that a few people did comment that conversation was much better than standard.
Fair enough. We hear you. Let's keep talking.
I find it funny, but
it's not every other weekend is about standard. Not this one. I'm in. I'll buy it. You're welcome, Sophus.
No, it's one of those things that this is the only event I come out to every year. I mean, I only get to put aside so many weekends away from the family and away from work, and after last year, this is not an event I want to miss. You
gonna bring an old school deck next year?
Eternal weekend. Yes,
next year bring an old school deck.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll meet you on Friday.
Yes. No, I will play old school next year.
Demicco's Delver deck looks relatively straightforward at first glance. Delver, Pyromancer, Deathrite, Stifle, Daze, Bolt, Force of Will, Brainstorm, Ponder, Probe, Dig.
I didn't realize we were back to 4 Stifle in Legacy.
Not everyone, but lots of people.
Oh, great.
Stifle is definitely a card,
I love it when sacking a sackland is terrifying.
Right. The good Legacy players choose very carefully when they're going to sacrifice their fetch lands.
Yes.
That is how you can tell the people who know the format well, when they sack their fetch lands. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. Not everybody runs it, but all the good players play around it. Yeah, obviously getting your fetch land stifled, it becomes instant Stone Rain. Not bad.
Yeah, no, not bad at all. And usually just derails whatever they're doing the rest of their mana, or if
probably
it's not turn 1.
When you're fetch land sack, and you probably had a reason you wanted that mana.
There was something going on.
What else we got going on? So, that's round 5. Hand me that one. Oh. We're down to what? 10 undefeateds? 11 tables, so... Oh, wow, 11 tables of undefeateds. 22.
There are 11 rounds of Swiss, so...
There's still 22 undefeated players left. Got a couple of them in the feature match area, Sam Raucus and Alex Cadu. Also, amongst the 4-1s, we've got 2 pages of 4-1s. Caleb Newfield and Daniel Holland. Oh, great. Looks like we're ready. Let's head down to the feature match area for Legacy Champs, round number 6. Here we go. Ed Demicco on the left of your screen is 4-1 with Grixis Delver. Alex Stratton on the right of your screen, Jeskai Jaceblade. That smells like a Brian David Marshall deck name to me. Yes. He is totally at home in the world of Legacy deck names.
Let's see how many things we can jam into one name.
All right. Ed's gonna ponder. Didn't like those. Reshuffle. Do you think Jace is legitimately Legacy worthy? Sorry, what were you saying?
We just got word that someone is 4-1 with a Goblin Prison deck. And I've never heard those 2 words go together before.
What is a Goblin Prison deck, and why is it not on camera right now?
I had no idea. Also looking through the list of undefeateds, I saw Patrick Failing, which he may have a soft spot in my heart for being a Madison guy, but he has just turned into more of an Eternal specialist.
Okay.
Magic Online all the time, Legacy and Vintage, comes out to this event every year.
Well, here's Young Pyromancer. Brainstorm?
That Underground Sea looks suspiciously black bordered.
Suspiciously black bordered?
It looks like an Unlimited with a Sharpie.
I think you may be onto something.
Which is fine if that's...
It's not illegal.
Nope, it's not illegal. Hey, you could walk around this event and all the events going on this weekend and you will see more altars and interesting cards and different languages.
Totally.
No, this is how people want to interact with the format, by all means. Yeah, he needs to sack that sack then while his opponent's tapped out, though. Oh yeah, and it's just when it's bad, it's still just a spillover card for Force of Will.
Right, it's blue.
Yeah.
The bar for being a blue card is not that high.
Yeah, it's way lower than every other color.
All right, plow the Young Pyromancer, makes sense. Is that gonna work? You gotta Force of Will this. You get a token, you defend your Young Pyro. What else are you Force of Willing in this deck? You have a Stifle that he's proven he knows how to play around. Yeah, I defend the Young Pyro. Excuse me. And off to the races. So there's a Goblin Prison deck, you're telling me. Can we get that one on camera in a future round?
That's the rumor.
That would be awesome.
Hopefully, as long as he wins this one.
Who's playing it?
No, we're just these things that I think Jeffrey Kramer.
Awesome. To look for that. Suddenly I'm
these
rooting
things
for him
that kind
to
of
win this
bubble
round.
up to the surface. You hear the whispers through the crowd. Whispers like, please stop showing us standard. Yep, so much for that land.
Yeah.
I don't know though. If you're given the option ahead of time whether you wanted to stifle. Can you stifle Stoneforge's come into playability?
Yes.
Yeah. I think you might pick something different.
Stoneforge actually blocks passively here as well. Taxian Probe. So good. The information is good. Token is good.
Yeah. Spell in the graveyard is good.
Ed is not on the Cabal Therapy version of the list though.
With 4 probes and having...
Once you have 4 probes, 4 Young Pyromancers, and black mana in your deck,
yeah.
I don't know why you don't run Cabal Therapy. Like,
I mean, the deck is pretty tight. I mean, when you're fitting in 4 Dazes and 4 Stifles,
yeah,
it can be hard to get to therapies, but I think I might want to find some space.
Well, I mean, I think at some level, are you attacking their mana or are you attacking their hand? Oh, he's got them in the sideboard. Fair enough. That's 4 in the sideboard. I mean, the Day Stifle plan is really, and Wastelands, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Day Stifle Wasteland says attack the mana base. The Cabal Therapy decks tend not to have any of those cards.
Yeah.
They don't even tend to run Wastelands. Just like, you can have your mana, I'm going to attack your spells.
So it looks like Alex is in a tough spot. There's lethal on the board. He has 2 mana in play and a search land in his hand.
Does not play sweepers. Now he kills the Young Pyromancer.
It seems a little late. I mean,
the damage is done. I mean, like I said, you weren't sure whether to defend that with a Force of Will? Look at all the work that guy's done.
So many things happen in Legacy. Obviously, I was wrong, but
okay.
I've always been one of those people with Force of Wills. Like, I usually just try and counter the things that beat me, and when he gets rid of a Young Pyromancer in play, he's just getting it back to parity. Now, you're absolutely right. You still counter it. It's really not close.
I mean, the deck is essentially a tempo deck.
Yes. Not my specialty.
Not mine either, but I've been dabbling. Stoneforge picks off one token, but the other 3 connect.
And here we go, Bolt to the face, and
Yep.
Deathrite. Force of Will doesn't even save you. A Misdirect would.
Show you a Lightning Bolt. And Ed Demicco. Up a game, Grixis Delver. One of the fairly expected decks. He's got, I mean, almost an old school version of it with all the Dazes and Stifles and Wastelands. It's never really left though, not exactly that old school.
I like putting the fear back into people, and I like the Dazes and Stifles. I like having no idea if what your plan is going to have, what plan you have is going to work. So.
Now, does sideboarding change much here? Ed has the ability to go Cabal Therapy.
Yep.
I don't know when you want those versus when you don't.
Is that Fire Covenant?
It is. One copy of Fire Covenant. It's interesting.
3 Pyroblast, an Ancient Grudge.
Snapcaster. On the other side, Alex Stratton with Jaceblade Prodigy baked into a Stoneblade shell. And he's got Flusterstorms, Containment Priest, Meddling Mage, Pyroblast. The Supreme Verdict, I guess you need so they can potentially clean up after a Young Pyro.
Well, yeah, because the uncounterable part is one of the most important parts. Yeah, his deck doesn't change too much. There's not a single Snapcaster in the main here.
Right. That's the other card that the therapy versions can tend to play that you don't tend to see in the mana denial version. There's like 1 in the sideboard, I think. Yeah, 1 in the sideboard for Ed.
I would have thought the first Snapcaster would be better than the 4th of many cards. But I'm not saying I'm right. That's just where my mind would have gone off the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, that's the card. I look at the Jaceblade Prodigy in Alex's list, and I mean, I'm kind of interested to see it in action. But at the same time, is it better than a Snapcaster? Like, you have to do a lot of work to kind of turn it into a Snapcaster mage, right?
It's so hard to be better than Snapcaster. Especially when the format is almost defined by 1 mana spells.
Right. So you start out, you pay the same mana cost. But with Jace, you might get an extra flashback, but it's like 4 turns from now, assuming it lived, before you turn a profit.
Yeah, I had no idea with so much deck manipulation if we would start seeing the Abbot.
Abbot of Keep, sure.
Yeah.
I have not seen an Abbot of Keep, but
that actually surprises me.
Somebody should be testing it at least, right?
Yeah.
Does it just not fit into the shells that exist?
It must not. Like, the fact that his prowess just doesn't come into play enough. But there's a lot of times in this format, the top card of your deck, and whether you just want to throw a land into play or... and that's what it does better than Snapcaster, obviously. It's like you're brainstorming or you're topping and you just want to get those extra cards out of the way, and there's a land glut at the top, like Abbott throws the land right into play, and then you just keep moving.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
So I'm hoping somebody is playing with it at some point.
God, we've been talking about how it's the brainstorm format.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess having enough mana to brainstorm and then Abbott isn't trivial.
But it also just makes your ponders better.
True.
Like, I mean, because
same vibe.
Well, yeah, you're sitting here deciding whether or not you want to keep this because it's a good spell, but maybe it's 2 lands, or there's one. You just put 1 land in the right spot in there, and the Abbot just makes the ponder significantly better. Maybe I'm really high on Abbott because a huge chunk of my team was playing 4 Abbots at the PT.
Right. I mean, you guys just crushed another PT with Abbots, so.
And it was the best card in the deck.
Yeah.
Like, it was just incredible.
Makes sense to me. What are our other decks in the feature match area? It's just interesting to see kind of what the spread is. So that's a Miracles deck on the top of the list, right?
Caleb
Dredge
is up a game.
God, the Legacy Dredge decks are so insane. It's not manaless. It actually has mana. So you're trying to get started with Careful Study and Breakthrough and Lion's Eye Diamond. Like, it's so weird that the whole problem with Legacy Dredge is how do I actually get the first card into my graveyard? Yeah, and this one is Breakthrough, Careful Study, Lion's Eye.
So I have a version very, very similar to this built on Magic Online, or I would just jump into Legacy Queues every now and then. I do prefer the mana Dredge to the manaless versions.
The manaless version, by the way, you basically just have to say choose draw.
You have to choose draw
card
and
on turn 1.
You just keep.
You keep all hands.
Even if it doesn't have, like,
you have to discard
Yeah.
to hand size to get started. All right.
Okay, we're heading back to this match.
Delver up a game.
That one, not so good.
More deck lists. All
So
right.
the Dredge deck is playing against what looks to be Mono Black, Small Pox, and Retrace, Worm Harvest, Raven's Crime, Life from the Loam for them, Abrupt Decay, so Splash of Green.
Wow. That deck's cool. It's Loam Pox, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wrath Levy's had a lot of success with this in Modern. With the modern version of this. But yeah, here's the legacy version of Loam Pox.
Yeah, you're talking 4 Entombs, really just to put Life from the Loam in the graveyard. I mean, maybe some others if you need to retrace.
You have Raven's Cage, you have a retrace package, obviously. Wow, it only runs 1 copy of Life from the Loam because of the 4 Entombs. That's clever.
It's clever, but it's really tough when there's a bunch of
Nile spell bombs and stuff floating
spell bombs
around.
and the death
Rights.
Just,
all right, here we go. Turn 1, Delver of Secrets. And there's the lightning bolt. Down goes Delver. More fetching while the opponent is tapped out. We're going to see Stoneforge's turn. No,
here
it's
we go.
Jace.
Makes an appearance.
Yeah, it's better than Snapcaster here, I guess.
Yep, 1 sack land away from just getting turned on.
Or even a Wasteland. Like an enemy Wasteland turns them on too,
Right, I would be very hesitant to waste into that.
if you're Ed.
I mean, then again, if you can't kill it, you're staring down the barrel of an extra loot and then it flipping.
I don't think Ed Demicco can kill it. Well, let's see what the top of the deck says.
Yeah, he hasn't decided if he can kill it yet or not.
Well, 2 young Pyromancers.
And a death right.
He's got Fire Covenant in his hand. It's what, 5 damage divided however he wants?
No, that's Fiery Justice.
Well, that's Fiery Justice. Which one is Fire Covenant?
This is like Channel Fireball to creatures.
Channel Fire, okay. Right. Functionally almost the same, but yeah, okay. So next turn he can kill Jace with it, but not this turn.
Yeah.
Will Jace still be a creature next turn? Unclear. He reshuffled and then drew Young Pyromancer anyway. It's like he's got another Delver in his hand. Isn't that the line? I mean, Delver's pretty good against Jace anyway, right?
That has
If
to
it
be
lives.
the direction here.
Alright. Delver number 2. Now if Jace flips, he can just flash back the Lightning Bolt right here.
Yes.
Alex really, really, really wants to crack a fetch land and then
he
loot.
drew a fetch land this turn.
Wow.
So this game is going very bad very quickly.
It's at least going the way Alex drew it up.
Yes, this is the way he envisioned it when he built his deck. I will sack a fetch land every turn and play my Jace.
Kill something.
Yeah, I will have already bolted his first.
He's on 4 bolts for
Delver.
plow, so it's a pretty realistic plan. Now Jace loots.
Oh, Brainstorm, that's not a bad one.
And here we go.
It's not a bad one at all when your Jace turns over.
Now, are you a checklist guy or a card pull it out of the sleeve and turn it over guy? Because clearly these two are enemies.
So,
And here's exactly the
fundamentally,
flashback we just saw.
if I had all of them at my disposal at any given time, I would be a checklist guy.
Really?
But I can't see myself keeping track of the checklists. So when I build a deck, it's just the flip card right in the sleeve.
The checklists are so ugly. I don't want to be holding a checklist in my hand.
I don't want to be manipulating my sleeve over and over and risking the idea that just my flip cards end up marked.
Sure.
Like because I keep sleeving them and re-sleeving them.
All right. Now that Jace is flipped, Wasteland is okay. Down goes Volcanic Island. Yeah, no red mana left, right?
Nope.
See what Brainstorm says.
Tundra Plains and a fetch land.
Fetch land. How about that? How about we put 2 back and then play a fetch land? Good lord. Like, fetch lands weren't good enough in Legacy. Now we've got Jace shenanigans too. Deck's looking pretty good here.
Yes.
Jace ticks up this time.
It certainly played a very, very different role than Snapcaster here.
Yeah.
That Snapcaster on 2, not getting it done.
Right. I mean, he could have Snapcastered Bolt on turn 3 to kill the Delver. Is
Certainly.
what Snapcaster would have done. But Jace did that, and now is still a Planeswalker in play.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been better than Snapcaster. Demicco.
Doesn't matter at all. Separate.
Oh, speak of the devil.
Is this just
Does
for
he have
Ponder?
a Lightning Bolt? Yeah,
No,
that's all
Ponder.
it is. Lightning Bolt would have been great there, but all he's got is a Ponder.
Snapcaster, first Ponder, cast Ponder.
Ponder on the stack.
Yeah, do what you gotta do. There is not currently a bolt for Alex to flash back, though we know there's one in his hand.
Ponder's also.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. Grudge Delver Probe.
I'm starting to believe in this Jace Vryn's Prodigy plan.
It's impressive right here.
Trust him.
Yep.
I mean, what is that supposed to do against a Planeswalker Jace?
This is one of those, I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
Plus turning nothing.
Now it's at a Lightning Bolt range.
What is Jace's plus?
Shrink a creature. Apparently it's up to 1 creature. I guess you don't require a target. Ed continues to attack red mana. Smart.
Yes.
Sure.
Target raise trust.
A fancy Snapcaster entering the game.
Brainstorm.
Well, if those 3 cards won't fix your mana, not much is going to.
Combat's good.
Brainstorm into 2 Ponders, the Brainstorm.
If only he had an Abbot.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of do nothing, but
That's fine.
Interesting.
yeah. Probably wishes that Spell Pierce was still up.
Well, can't pierce the creature, but
Oh, I'm thinking Spell Snare.
yeah.
Draw.
Yep.
Yeah, without the red mana, Alex doesn't actually have a way to kill Young Pyromancer. Is that true? I don't see a plow over there. He's got a bunch of ponders, is what he's got. But he really needs to kill that Young Pyromancer before too much goes on. Okay, and Ed plays a Delver.
Yeah, it's
We know that card's not land, because it's left over from the Brainstorm.
yeah. So we'll ponder, see if there's anything good
Right.
below the other ponder.
Agree.
And then assess.
Then, if there's nothing good, shuffle.
Oh, he does have a plow.
Brainstorm.
He has a plow in his hand. So you can actually plow Young Pyro, flashback plow, plow Delver.
Ponder.
But, okay, he goes for the Ponder. I think I like the Ponder here because you would like to put a land into play now.
Right.
Finds an island.
Which does not help his plan, so he's going to shuffle. I think I'm okay just getting the island into play, but he's really hoping for a white land.
A red land. Oh, second lightning bolt, that doesn't help. Or third
Oh, no, I
lightning bolt.
meant a white land just so he can plow, flashback, plow.
Could have done that without pondering.
Yeah, but he wanted a land too.
It's a little greedy.
I don't know if a little is the right word for it.
It's a lot greedy. Now we need Jace to not flip. I mean, Delver to not flip.
19.
You what? Tick Jace up?
Plus
Or maybe not at all.
Yeah.
There we go.
Tick Jace up. So now even if the Delver flips, it only hits for one. Yeah, this is all reasonable.
Yeah.
It's reasonable, but I think I'm still okay having the island on top and dropping it into play. Ooh.
So you would not have reshuffled. You would have pondered, but you would not have reshuffled.
I may have pushed it further, actually. I may have pondered and then brainstormed and just figured I had to develop my board or things were just going to get out of control.
Pyroblast, quite the card. Not only flips Delver, but kills Jace.
I'll take 2.
I feel like plow, flashback plow, your opponent is now down to a single elemental token. I'll deal with the ponders later.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Let me just preserve this board state where I have a Jace doing things and you have nothing to attack me.
I think right there, even though it costs you maybe some damage, you might want to attack first. I think the Snapcaster might jump in front of the token if it's protecting Jace. And I would take that trade.
All right, Brainstorm has found a fetch land. So red man has been reacquired. Lightning Bolt's been turned on. No longer a Jace to give flashback to the one in the yard, though.
Hey, Stoneforge in there too, right?
Oh, was there? That's pretty good. Yeah, fetch land. Stifle? No stifle? Okay. Alex is probably happy to know that his Stoneforge is not going to get stifled either.
Right.
But he's going to go ahead and bolt the Delver. Preserve his 13 points of life.
17.
There you go.
Yet another checklist. Checklist card number 4. There's the Stoneforge Mystic.
So yep, it's time to take some action or this game just gets away from you.
Delver sees a land, which Ed doesn't even shuffle into his hand. Just admits that was his draw.
Yeah, I haven't done anything for a few turns, and I drew this land.
I'm at 14.
I'm not exactly sure what Fire Cup accomplishes in this matchup. Because it is just pay X, do X to any number of creatures.
Sure.
Split up among any number of creatures.
I mean, he may just think he was up against another Pyromancer
I mean,
deck.
it's just both of them right here. It's pay 3, get them both.
Yeah. It's not bad. Especially, you want to kill the Mystic before it loses Summoning Sickness and can cheat Batterskull into play.
I mean, it plays in more roles, but right here it is a harder to cast pay 3 life Arc Lightning.
If only there was an island in play. You could have Flusterstorm, would have been awesome. All of a sudden, at Demicco, has he turned the corner?
He may have. I mean, 10 is still a lot, and dig is a lot of cards.
I mean, if Delver flips, Alex is looking to fall to 6 next turn. He's got access to a whole bunch of blue cards.
Right, but off this dig, I have to imagine he might need to take a land. It's land, Elim spell, and then just operating off of the cards he already had.
I saw a bunch of blue cards though. I'm not sure he actually has a removal spell. He took Tundra Ponder. Now he's pondering, finds Plow. Yeah, I think we're gonna keep that one.
Yeah.
Okay, Plow, play the Tundra you took off the dig through time. That sequence worked out.
That'll do.
Now it's just an elemental token, okay.
Yes. So Demicco had turned the corner and then found another corner.
Stepped on a shovel.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ancient Grudge sits in Ed's hand.
Is that Mana Severance? No. Oh, just another dig. I thought he picked up his deck. I saw
A lot of
he
cards
picked
in
up
the
his
yard.
graveyard. I really thought he was leaping through his deck for the lands. Like, something odd is going on here.
All right, couple of digs. Feels like Alex should be ahead. He got
Yes.
value off the Jace. He's cast multiple copies of Dig through time. If he can't win this game, I'm off it. I'm
Yes.
out of Jace Rin's Prodigy business,
Yes.
for Legacy anyway. Now he resolves a second Stoneforge Mystic. Surely he wins this game. I mean, the Delver deck hasn't done anything particularly special. It just summoned some Delvers and some Young Pyros and cast a bunch of cantrips.
Particularly uninspiring. Perfectly honest.
That was a Fire Covenant. That was at least a little bit inspiring.
Fair.
I mean, all it did was Arc Lightning.
Yeah.
Young Pyro on top. Man, those three seem perfectly keepable, right?
Yes.
Young Pyro and a Death Ray?
I mean,
But I guess the problem is that Batterskull's coming down.
right, he's staring down the card from Stoneforge, so.
Well, he's got the Ancient Grudge in his hand, though.
Oh, fair.
He's had Ancient Grudge. I think it was in his opening draw. It's certainly been in his hand a long time.
He saw it on the top of his deck off of an early, like,
It's been there a long time.
early Brainstormer
Fair
Ponder,
enough.
yeah.
There's the Young Pyromancer. He's got Daze ready if that comes up. He's got Ancient Grudge for the Batterskull. Do you bolt his face?
I think you just bolt the Stoneforge.
Oh, bolt the Stoneforge? Oh, he's gonna Daze just to make a token and force Alex to pay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, you pay. But now there's no Spell Pierce available.
Yeah, now I would definitely bolt a Stoneforge.
Yeah. So there's a path for one elemental. Alex down to 7.
It's getting close.
I think Ed's gonna win this.
I am on the other side of this, but
Alex is still just like trying to dig for cards. He's gonna wind up hard casting a Batterskull and running it into an Ancient Grudge next turn while at 4. Right? Isn't it? What does he do this turn?
cast a Jace.
Cracks a fetch land. Okay, down to 6. Jace Fringe Prodigy, that's your play? Or Minds, does he have a Mind Sculptor? Yes, Supreme Verdict, okay.
Oh.
Okay. It's not nothing.
Well, I mean, the death rate's still an issue. Wait, where's the death rate?
Where is the death rate? Did we see the cards from that ponder? I thought he had a death rate in the ponder
apologize.
cards.
We thought there was a death rate in the ponder.
I mean, there's a small chance he put them back in the wrong order and he's going to draw it next turn. That would be weird. We must have just misunderstood what he was looking at with the ponder. All right. Stoneforge gets Umezawa's Jitte. And Alex... Oh, there... Wow, he put them in the wrong order. He put the fetch land on top of the death rate?
That's one way to play it.
Why would you put the fetch land on top? It's interesting that Alex declined to play his Umezawa Jitte last turn, presumably out of fear of a daze. Now here's the Batter Skull. Still no Jitte, it's just sitting in his hand.
More death rates. Birds of a feather. Does not cast a death.
Well, he wants to Ancient Grudge first, out of fear of, you know, Spell Pierce, I guess. Yeah, now he's got up Flashback Mana too. So down goes Batter Skull. I think Alex has a Pierce, but that's it? Or is that a Flusterstorm?
I think it's a Pierce, a Pyro, and a Jitte.
Ancient Grudge is insane here. It's going to get the Batter Skull and the Jitte.
Yes, Ancient Grudge is incredible here.
I mean, Alex sees it, so he probably won't feed the Jitte into it, but still a thing. All right, what does Jace do? Jace flips. Yeah, it's not even bluffing. Once all his land's in play. Alright, you can loot, you can flip Jace, transform Jace, flashback something, presumably a way to kill a death rate. And is it going to matter that Ed missed a turn of death rate by putting that fetch land on top?
Well, I mean, whenever he goes to flashback, doesn't it just
die to the death rate? Yeah.
tough shape here. It's whenever he goes to flashback, just gets removed, and then 2 more removes, and the game's over.
Looks like Ed Demicco's got it. Grixis Delver against the Jaceblade deck, and I think I'm off it. I don't know about this whole Jace Rin's Prodigy thing. It looked great for turn, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So it would appear when he decided he wasn't bluffing and he dropped that land into play last turn, that may have been his second land that turn. I think he played a Delta. Oh no, the Delta had been in play for a long time.
Yeah.
Someone is saying that it was his second land. So it would appear he is getting a warning for playing his second land.
Interesting.
No, I think we can all concur that there was no advantage to playing that last land last turn.
Yeah, Alex has to try to hope that Jitte can get some counters on it. Ed, of course, having none of that.
Fire Blast your land because I can.
Is that to set up a Flusterstorm? Yeah. Now he's able to Flusterstorm the Ancient Grudge?
Yeah, like it's just double blocked.
How many spells were played this turn?
There was
Flusterstorm, Ancient Grudge, and Jitte. Oh, Pyroblast is the 4th.
Pyroblast
and the Deathrite had Summoning Sickness, so he could not pay 4. That's what's going on. I was thinking he can pay 3, but can't pay 4.
Card. You can flashback and take your time. It's pretty good.
I'm gonna
Double
order
block.
non-summoning sick Deathrite first, and then the summoning sick one second.
Okay.
Trigger jet.
So the
That's my
not summoning sick Deathrite is of course the one that Alex chooses to kill.
Dumbest thing.
I actually think he went 1-1, but that's not an option anymore, right?
It doesn't even fucking matter at this point.
Also, Stoneforge is 1 power.
Oh, sorry, yes, just 1. I was thinking it was 2.
So now he finishes off that Jace. But the important thing is he can now flashback something with Jace.
Only if it costs 0.
He just cracked a fetch land, right? Is there no land he can get other than an island? Down to just an island. Kind of funny. Not going to be flashing back a removal spell.
Yeah, it'll look more like a ponder.
Yeah, flashback's the I mean, of course.
Dig is certainly good.
All right, Alex is now on 3, tapped out versus the Deathrite. He can gain 2 life from the Jitte. But Ed, top deck's a Brainstorm. Feels like we're 1 lightning bolt away, but there's no bolt there. There's Gitaxian Probe, Wasteland, and I think Dig Through Time? Yes. Dig Through Time.
That is an awfully big threat.
I mean, whatever. Alex has 1 card in his hand.
Yes.
No Force the Willing here. Can Ed find the lightning bolt? Pyroblast. Oh, there it is. Lightning bolt. It just works, right?
And another lightning bolt.
2 lightning bolts for good measure. And Demicco and Grixis Delver wins this match 2-0, moves to 5-1 in the tournament. He's like halfway there.
Yeah, getting
Halfway,
close.
5 wins.
Yep, just 5 more wins and he'll definitely make top 8.
4 to draw is probably going to be good enough. 9-1-1.
It sounds good enough, certainly.
I think it feels like we're just barely into 11 round territory though, right? Where maybe 9-2 even has a shot.
Well, I would imagine the cutoff is at some multiple of 2, so what, 5-12? And then the next cutoff
Yeah, but once you throw buys in, it gets weird, and then you tend to round up when you get buys. Like I think 5-12 is when you go to 10 rounds.
Okay.
And we're at 11 at 7:44.
Seems fair.
I don't look. We'll figure it out when we get to the last round, right? It's
Yep.
one of those where you're like, second loss is probably really, really bad, especially when you pick it up early in the tournament.
Yeah, we're just going to see how this one shakes out.
And then you get to the end, and you're like, okay, is my 2 losses mean I have a shot?
So at this point, I mean, I feel like watching the Jeskai Jaceblade play out there. Yeah, if it's not going to close out from there, I'm not sold.
I mean, maybe. It did do some stuff, and it's obviously a first iteration. Do we have any other legacy matches still going, or did that one consume our entire round? Sounds like that one consumed the entire round. Do we get any results from our other matches? They're probably pretty hard to get. Yeah, there's definitely some interesting decks floating to the top. The Jace deck was cool. The Lone Pox is cool. Dredge.
So, what's our other matches?
Yeah, our guys were 4-1. And then you can see over there were a couple 4-1s and then a couple 5-0s. Which ones were the 5-0s?
So I believe Sam won. Yeah, Sam is one of the undefeated. Sam, boy, I hesitate to even try with the names.
Sam Raucus beat Alex Cadieux. Alex was on Omni Show. He was. Wow. There was an Omnitel deck in here. Or Omnitel? Yeah. Omni Show. It's Omnitel. Show, tell. Same card. How can I have two different names for the same card?
And
Sam was. Which one is Sam? Oh, he's the Miracles deck.
yeah, versus
So Miracles over Omnitel.
So it looks like we have Ed coming in to talk to him a little bit about his
Great. Pull up a chair.
matchup and his deck there. So welcome. Hello. Congratulations on the round.
Thank you.
Here, scoot in. There we go. We gotta get cozy up here.
Thank you. It was really weird to see Jace. He was really good. And like, you had to play to like bait him to use it, to like shrink it so he can't do really crazy things. It was really good. Like really good.
But it didn't work. He resolved the Jace,
did.
flipped it on turn 3.
He did.
Played another one later, flipped that one, cast 2 copies of Dig Through Time. You beat him anyway.
Well, yeah, Ancient Grudge is a really good card.
That.
Ancient Grudge is a really good card, and even though Jace was really good, that Stoneforge Shell is like, it's kind of hard because they can't really kill you unless they resolve a Batterskull. And like Batterskull is like their meat. Like sometimes, like I guess he's not playing like True Names or anything. Maybe he is. I don't know. But usually, like if you can interact with a Batterskull, stop the Batterskull, then they kind of just don't really do anything. They kind of dirtle around and do nothing.
Yeah,
which
sure.
is basically what I was allowed to do. Is I could get a little value from the Pyromancers and force them to answer them and just chip away until we get to like he drew his Dig Through Times, and I play a lot of Dig Through Times, so I knew like eventually I would draw Dig Through Time 2, and then we'd be more. It would be a more even game. Yeah. But I think it's really good. I don't know if that deck is like the best for it because like he still had to resolve a Batterskull, and then the Stoneforge engine is really easy to disrupt with like, especially if you have Cabal Therapies. So you can Cabal Therapy them or you can just bolt their guy. It's kind of...
Did you bring in the Cabal Therapies?
Yeah, I brought in, every time someone brings a Stoneforge, it's just like, well, I know what to name now. So it's really easy. You don't have to probe them, you don't have to do anything. So...
But you don't like the probe therapy?
Yeah, it's really sweet. I've been playing this deck forever, and
yeah, we were surprised not to see the therapies in the main, but then when we started to look at Daze and Stifle and Wasteland, I guess you're on a different plan in game 1.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different decks in Legacy, and if you have a Legacy, or if you have a Stifle against like an Omnitel deck, and they go island, City of Traders, and just kill you, you feel pretty stupid. So, like, there's so many different decks, and I like the way that I built this deck. It's very flexible. Like, obviously, it's redundant, and there's a lot of, it's just like everybody else's, but the sideboard plan lets you go, like, to these longer games. So, like, I boarded in a Snapcaster because, like, there are a lot of times the games go long, and, like, I'm not going to stifle him out of the game. That's kind of... It's wishful thinking. So I take out the Stifles and bring in sort of like Pyroblast and Cabal Therapies and like...
I saw the Fire Covenant.
Yeah,
I assume that's not necessarily in there for him.
No, but
it works.
If you kill, if you kill the Batterskull and like the Stoneforge, like they have these random assortment of creatures, and sometimes they bring in like... He wasn't playing at Lingering Souls, but sometimes they have Lingering Souls, and they just have these, and like Vendilion Clicks and Snapcasters, and all these random things that you have to beat. So, like Fire Covenant, like, it's kind of dumb, but they're not good. He's not going to burn me out, Like, he's not a Delver player, and there's a risk to losing that much life. Mm-hmm. Like, I've paid 17 life with that card against Elves with a Curt Hoof trigger on the stack, and then you can just kill everything. But obviously, it wasn't that good. And it has risk, but against certain decks with no counterspells, or when after board, when counterspells go down, like Force of Wills generally go out, and like the counters become more mana based, you can kind of get away with sneaking it in every once in a while in a big way.
Yeah, we were talking about, in that situation, kind of played the role of Arc Lightning, but still better than Reckless Spite. I don't know, it falls somewhere in the middle there.
Well, it's like Forkbolt is usually, or Forkbolt or like Dismember, are like those removal spells that generally go in that spot, and like Dismember is good, but it costs you life, and if you're paying life, you might as well just kill everything.
No,
Right? Yeah.
I think it's a really versatile card. I actually really like it in your sideboard, especially when you mentioned like the elves matchup.
Yeah.
Where you can just sit there and wait, and then just kill their whole team.
Yep. It's really good against elves. It sometimes is good against death and taxes, but not really, because they can like port your mana and trap your mana, and then they have the Thalia and Thalia's Horse, and it's just really hard to just get it sometimes. But it's really good against random creature decks where you just have a bunch of guys and you need to clear the way. You know, I did it so an unflipped Delver and a 1/1 Elemental could attack. So sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, especially when he's just dirtling around with Jace. You know, it's
Yeah, as we were watching the early game develop, I mean, Jace looked great, and then it just never seemed to go anywhere. I was really impressed you were able to pull out that game too. I mean, from your side of the board, was there a point at which you thought you were not winning that game?
No. I mean, no, because
I had Ancient Grudge.
Yeah.
Ancient Grudge, like he's gonna have to resolve a Batterskull, and then like I'm gonna draw Dig Through Time eventually, and this Ancient Grudge is just gonna stonewall his Stoneforges, and at some point I'm gonna draw something. Like I could have gone, like there was pretty much every colored source of mana on the table, you know, that I had, and there was, you know, I can get, and I had a bunch of bolts, and I had a Fork Bolt in, I think, and just a lot of burn, especially when he took so much early damage, and I knew that I would be able to just like at some point draw something to just, you know, dome him. I messed up so bad against him too. The turn that I pondered,
we caught the Deathblade Shaman.
and I was like, uh-oh. It's so bad. So bad. You can't get it right all the time. It's pretty rough though. But, you know, I won, which is good. Because Ancient Grudge is a good card to have for Stoneforge.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming to talk to us.
Thank you guys.
Sounds like you have
Congratulations
a
on that
great
round.
understanding of the format. Good luck.
Yeah,
Thank
good luck
you
the rest of
guys.
the way. We are going to take a real quick break. We will be back shortly with round 7 of Legacy Champs. Don't go anywhere.